Peugeot 2 Series is a supermini heavyweight with a fantastically rich history. Though most enthusiasts will remember the iconic 205 GTI, the moniker has actually been kicking around since 1929 and has always appealed to a broad mix of people. These days, the small car market has never been more competitive, so this latest version from the French firm, the 208, still needs to offer that regular dollop of French charm, but it also needs to be good value, safe, well equipped, fun to drive, and still cheap to run. That is a tough gig. The strength of the Peugeot 208 lies in its style. The car is actually 7 centimetres shorter than the 207 it replaces, yet there's a fluidity and sophistication about this design that gives it plenty of presence. I love this kink in the window line that gives this front wheel driver some much needed shoulders, and how the line that frames the new Lion badge runs all the way over the top of the car. In order to broaden appeal, both 3 and 5-door body styles have a slightly different stance, with the 3-door getting this quite aggressive swage in the door sections here, as well as this chromed ellipse that helps mimic the legendary 205. But regardless of body style, it's the details that set this car apart, from these daytime running LED eyebrows, to the LED claw graphic in the rear boomerang lights, to how this floating grille visually conveys that this car is actually lighter than its predecessor. Inside, the architecture of the 208 is pretty standout amongst the Ford Fiestas and Volkswagen Polos of this world, and the build quality is also strong, with real metal finishes, ambient LED lighting, as well as these plush, figure-hugging seats. The dash layout is very clean and modern. You get this really small steering wheel, which you sort of look over rather than through to catch a glimpse of the dials, but it immediately makes the cabin feel sportier. Both wheel and driver's seats are infinitely adjustable, and there's a decent amount of storage. All but the very basic models get air conditioning and this 7-inch touchscreen infotainment system that controls everything from your radio, Bluetooth and USB device, as well as your optional satellite navigation and Peugeot apps which you can download, and that encompasses a number of options, from finding your local petrol station to a Michelin-starred restaurant. Taller passengers may find rear headroom to be a little bit pinched, but it's acceptable for shorter journeys. The boot is also a decent size, offering more space than a Volkswagen Polo. However, unlike the Polo, the seats don't fold completely flat, so it isn't as practical lugging larger items. Having quick superlight steering is great for low-speed manoeuvres in town, and the 208 has just that. Visibility is also really good, especially when you spec this optional panoramic glass roof. That's a nice premium touch. All HDI diesel versions now emit less than 100 grams per kilometre of CO2, meaning they are super cheap to tax, though the e-HDI versions also come with one of the quickest reacting engine stop-start systems we've tested. That said, there is the best-selling 1.2 litre 3-cylinder petrol engine. That's also really excellent for fuel economy. Though the 0 to 62 time of 14 seconds isn't exactly what you'd call competitive. Nor too is the ride quality, which just seems to be a little bit patchy on the poorer road surfaces. But it's never unbearable, and it seems to sort itself out at higher speeds. The 208 is a stylish effort from Peugeot. Existing customers will be massively impressed, both by the step up in perceived quality of the interior and the attention to detail, while new customers will really like just how low those running costs can get. It may not drive or ride quite as well as some of the other benchmarks in this category, but something tells us that isn't going to matter one bit.